Hello, hello, hello. I wanted to show you this particular journal cover. And I thought, well, I showed you how to make one from a box that already had a spine, just cutting out the other three sides. But I wanted to show you how I made this one from an Amazon box. I actually cut three separate pieces and then glued fabric, I have tons of fabric, onto the cover. You can also, if you don't have fabric, that's fine. You can use gift bags. This was a gift bag somebody gave me. And I haven't done the insides yet because I really wanted to show this to you. And I wanted to show you this for another reason. If you decide to do this, which was so easy. I mean, you can do this in 15 minutes tops, really. If you have your cover picked out, you know what you're going to cover it with. Here is mistake number one, leaving this much of a gap in between. This was the very first one I ever made. And I thought, well, that leaves it room to fold. But yeah, look at this. See that? That's too much room. So how do you decide how much room to leave? The way you decide is when you're putting the centerpiece in, stand it up first because you really only need enough room for the size of the edge. So you stand it up like this and then lay it down, and that's where it should go. This one is perfect. Okay, so I was going to show you how to cut the pieces. I mean, it's really pretty easy. I have so much junk out here that I wanted to first tell you that you must use a metal ruler. And if you want to use an X-Acto knife, you can. I used it. I use it a lot, but I kind of got tired of it, so now I use my little mini rotary cutter. Since I don't do quilting much anymore, I hardly use this. First off, you want to just cut the pieces so that they're a little easier to deal with, because this monstrosity is like, yeah, where does this go, right? Okay, so I'm taking two of these flaps that are nice size looking flaps. I'll take this one and this one over here. All right, so let's get the other stuff out of the way. Yeah, you can use this to get out some stress. Okay, and then find a piece of either paper or fabric. I kind of like this. I should have ironed it, but it'll smooth out with the gluing process. And then the only glue that you need, somewhere around here I have, there we go, a glue stick. Yeah, you got it. Glue stick. Now, it would be better if we had the stronger one, but this is the only one that I have at home. All my other glue sticks are at the studio. All right, so we've got a metal ruler, a cutting device, a glue stick, and some box flaps. All right, so I'm going to get the fabric out of the way. And I'm not really keen on cutting. This is a $1 tablecloth, you know, but it's the only one I have on here right now. So I'm going to pull it up and reveal my messy work counter. There we go. Because I don't really care if this gets cut. It's a mess anyway. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to put this down pretty much in the fold. And let's see. I probably want this only 7, like 5 by 7 would be good. Why are you not cutting? I have it out. Maybe I've done too much. This thing is used to cutting fabric. It's not used to cutting cardboard boxes, but it's working. And if you have a little bit of a rough edge, it's going to get covered with fabric. Good Lord, what happened to my scissors? I had 3 pair out here. Okay, here's another pair. Boy, I would never do this 6, 8 years ago because these scissors are my quilting scissors. All right, let's see how wide this is. I didn't even measure. It is almost 6. So I'm going to take this. I'd like to take it 6 by 8, but you better check your fabric to see how much. Now I noticed this piece is smaller down at this end. So, well, that's about 9.5. So we probably could do 8 and it would still be fine. Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna, ouch, sorry. I'm gonna mark it with a pencil at 8. I am not the best measurer, but some things you do need to measure so that it doesn't look wonky. All right, we're still out. And I'm just gonna put the ruler on those 2 lines. And I can kind of feel when it's done. All right, so now we've got this one. And, yep, this one we've got to cut here first. And I'm actually going to start down here. Because once it gets past 8, I can rip it. Alright, now just in case my measuring was off a little bit, I just want these 2 pieces to be equal. There we go. I'll cut it right there. I know if I had recorded this, I could have put a speeded up version. Sorry. I am very spontaneous some days. Okay, most days. There we go. Now we just need a little spine. And this looks like it'll accommodate the 8 inches that we need. So I'm going to first cut this off about here. There we go. And once again, we basically want this to be even. So ruler or no ruler, this is the size we want. And we don't want it too thick of a spine. I would say like 1 inch to 1.5 inches. There we go. And I know that's too long, but we'll trim it. Okay. Garbage. Good pieces. Better put this under. There we go. I'm just going to snip that off with the scissors. Now, something I'm not liking here, this was on the fold of a box, and I just really don't like that. It's going to stick up and be weird. So I'm just going to trim it off. There we go. See, I don't move my ruler until I'm sure that it has cut all the way through. Oh, there's some of that tape under there. See that? That's what's giving us a problem. All right. And again, there's some wonky bits on the edge. Don't worry too much about them because they will be covered with fabric. Yeah. Okay, good deal. So now we have 3 pieces of cardboard, and what I mentioned earlier about how to know how far apart to space them, you're just going to stand this one on end and then lay it down. And that's all the spacing that you'll need is the width of the cardboard. Okay? All right. Let's get to the quick and easy part. The corners are what throw most people. So, and I'm going to start down here at the larger end, just to make sure that we have enough room. And I know I haven't thrown any measurements at you, because this is all kind of how much you want, and that's way too wide. Okay, I realize that, but I'm just kind of giving it the most. I like kind of an inch to inch and a half fold over. And see, I go by eye. I'm a very visual person. So this is an inch and a half. Okay, so if you need a number, you're that exact of a person, use an inch or an inch and a half. Now I'm looking at the top and bottom, and it's looking like I'm only going to get an inch. So I might just go ahead and move this down a little bit so I don't have to cut this end. And then this will go about here. This will go about here. I am leaving a little bit more than the width of that, but I want to cut this off so I don't have to deal with all this excess fabric. And I'm just estimating right now to about here. And I love cutting fabric that lets you slide the scissors. I don't know why, it's just fun. Okay, so all we need now, and we want to do one piece at a time because you're going to turn it over to smooth out each piece as you go. Make sure you have no little stray bits or strings. Okay, I'm going to, this is white cloth, so any print on the box has a good chance of showing through. It doesn't right now, but yeah, it does. I can see it. So I'm going to put the print face up because I don't know what I'm going to cover this with yet, but I can take that into consideration when I put something on it, and that way it won't show. So this is going to be my glue side, and you're going to go all the way around the edges, all the way in the middle, and then you're going to just turn it over. I like this glue stick because it comes out purple, and when it dries, it's clear. That's how you know it's drying. It's like, whoop, you better get moving. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's about right. There. You gotta finally land. Okay, I turn it over, smooth out the wrinkles, and if you happen to have a brayer, even better, because you can just smooth out that glue. Now this isn't something you need to do like forever, you know, take a long time with. Done. All right. And then we stick this part on. Same thing, I'm going to put the plain side down so nothing shows through the fabric. Let's get that nasty tape off of there. All right. On the edges, all four edges, and in the middle. Yes, by the time you get done, you will have glue fingers. All right, so I'm standing it up against the other cardboard and then laying it down, and I am pulling it over just a smidge to make sure that it opens nicely. Just a smidge. See, that's just a smidge, in case you ever wondered how much a smidge was. Okie dokie. You get out of here. For reals. There. Okay, this one has no print to worry about. I'm just going to turn this around. And I really like the fact that we cut these flaps. I mentioned this in my Friday Facebook Live, but it bears repeating in case you didn't see that one. If you have a choice, cut your cardboard so that the corrugated goes horizontally. Oh my, I've never had that happen. Alrighty, I guess I'm getting towards the end. The reason you want to cut it horizontally is because I've had one before where I actually had it going the other way, and what happened is when I bent the spine, well, and the spine was attached in that case, so maybe it wouldn't matter as much. No, it would still end up mattering. The cardboard bent because it was going the same direction. So, horizontal is better. I'm just going to smooth this out by hand. You've got to make sure that you get, see, I see a spot here that looks like it doesn't have any glue. And it is kind of difficult when you've got this corrugated stripy cardboard, which most cardboard is. Okay, the secret to the corners. On these corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, I want to make sure I'm on the camera. Cut, well, this actually needs to be trimmed a little bit. It's a little too long. So I don't know if any of you have ever made those fleece blankets where you cut strips all the way around it and then you tie them. Well, even if you haven't, you do this the same way at the corners. You cut out a square. What that does is it gets rid of the bulk and cut off these strings. Good grief. They'll just get caught in the glue. Yuck. This is what happens when you pre-wash fabric. Alright, so see, what we're going to do is we'll fold it up this way and we'll fold it over that way, and that way we won't have that bulk of the corner. So I'm just going parallel and then out that way, and it's probably better to go this way because, as you can see, this is a little crooked. It's not an exact science. I have friends that would argue that. They would say everything needs to be measured, and I say, really? Okay, you go ahead. All right, I'm gonna pencil just one of these to show you, but basically on these you want to trim this way. Now I'm exaggerating this triangle just so that you can see it. Can you see that? I'm not sure, but I think you can. I'm not going to cut it quite that wide, but you're going to go just up to the cardboard. All right, so I'm going to cut on the inside of that triangle to make it just a little smaller because it doesn't need to be quite that big. And if you didn't quite get up to where it meets, then just cut it off. All right, so you just kind of aim for the space. There we go. And what that will do for us is it'll allow us, this one needs to go up a little higher. It'll allow us to do that without adding bulk in between. All right, so there. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna put glue here. Boy, I hope I make it without this thing falling out again. So, and you always want to go up higher than you need to. It's better to have too much glue than not enough, because you don't want those edges coming loose. Ugh. Oh yeah, and I wanted to tell you about, I got these strings sticking to me. Okay, on the ends, see in this one, I'm gonna take this in just a little bit on an angle. Come on back down here. There we go. It's kind of the same concept as this, but not quite. All right, so I'll come over here and I'll take like a half of a triangle and then one over here. And I'm sorry that my arms are getting in front of the camera. I just don't have any other way to hold this. Oh, I don't do the ends until after both of these are done. Sorry, can't do that. Okay, I was getting ahead of myself. We're almost there. Oh, come on, you can do it. I'm gonna have to go get some more glue stick today. Come on. And when you do the opposite side over there, you want to pull it as tight as you can so that if there's any wrinkles out here, it'll, you know, pull them out. All right, let's get our triangle cut. There's a good one. There's a good one. And then a little bit over here. And a little bit over here. That one didn't go far enough in. There we go. Okay, I'm just not sure I'm gonna make it with this. Maybe I can do it like this. And I'm going up higher than I know I need to, but you want to make sure you have enough. Okay. And you want to make sure that you do it fast enough so that the glue doesn't start drying on you. Alright, now we're going to do the ends. I should have timed this. I said it takes maybe 15 minutes, but I don't even think that it took that. I know this one is a little crooked, but you're going to put something over this so it's not going to show. I actually was looking for some scrapbook paper because it's sturdy and I know that it will glue stick down onto this. And I had this cute little piece, a strip that I had left over from something, and I thought, oh, if I could find the rest of this page or even the book it came in, because yeah, I didn't do the little triangular slit things. Make sure that you get glue down on these edges here, because they're the ones that will get bumped around and you don't want them to come off. Look at that. Cool. So now we have a book that's covered in our fabric, and we can use whatever we want to. I'm not going to do the inside here today, but you could even print out. Okay, I printed this out off the internet, and then I took it into Photoshop and reversed it. But you could print something out, and you could do a piece at a time, or kind of looks like you'd almost have to. This would almost fit without having to cut it. And that's just regular 8.5 by 11 paper. But if you have scrapbook paper, those are 12 by 12. So, you know, you could take one piece and do the whole. Just make sure that if you do one piece, that when you put it in, you crease it here so that it's going to open nicely. And only glue one side, one portion at a time. So do it in 3 sections. Otherwise, you might end up with a book that then doesn't bend. Okie dokie. I hope that helps give you more options on how to make your journal cover.